Alright, so I am very excited for this video. MCU show Loki just came out recently. It's continuing. A lot of hype behind it. Apparently super great. A lot of potential for it to tie into a lot of things down the line. And with that in mind, I decided to go ahead and scale a character from that show, obviously MCU Loki, in particular what he did in the movies and the tie-in material to the movies, and overall exploring just how strong Marvel Cinematic Universe Loki is. If you like videos like this and want to support my channel, make sure to check out membership options. Of course, the best one right now, $5 a month for full membership if you go through Cash App. That includes my servers, my scans, talking to me every day, daily versus battle, giveaway games, all that. If you want that, comment down below and add me on Discord, which will be in the description, and we'll set you up. But anyways, this is going to be a breakdown and power scaling of MCU Loki. I hope you guys enjoy, and without further ado, let's begin. Son of a fallen frost giant, Odin took in Loki as a baby and raised him as his own. Of course, Loki grew into becoming the jealous god of mischief, Loki. Initially, Loki's tried to start a war with the Frost Giants as an effort to get the throne of Asgard and knock off his father and brother Thor. Eventually, Loki was outcasted and lost, and fell into arms with fellow schemer Thanos. This time, Loki was helped and even at one point had a stone himself. Loki would become a conflicted villain throughout his timeline, and would eventually try to betray Thanos after surviving Ragnarok. Loki would fall at the hands of the tyrant Thanos, and of course, given some time traveling, and I don't want to spoil much, he's back in the MCU in the shows, but in the movies, that's where he met his end, at least up through Endgame. Now, let's take a look at strength. Loki has historically shown he can swap hands with the likes of characters like Thor. Thor, even early on in the movies, had feats like breaking the Rainbow Bridge, which contains enough power to casually wipe out planets, as well as spread throughout all the realms into the space beyond. Loki was also point blank there when this exploded. On top of this, he's also been able to, essentially, I wouldn't say, Hulk tier, but he's close, right? He's fought Thor and swapped hands with Thor, and Thor can rock Hulk with his strikes, and Loki's been just fine. He's not the same tier as them, but he's just below them and high enough to compete. Loki can also somewhat contend with Hela tiers if given the chance. Hela scales way above the Casket of Winters, which has the fabled power to freeze entire planets. So the safe range from this information, I believe, for Loki's strength would be multi-continental to planet plus. But we're also going to take a look at the higher end stuff. Higher end AP comes from damaging Thor with a stab to the point that he dropped to his knees. Thor can withstand the concentrated power of a neutron star. He also had the Mind Stone to utilize, which off lore can even eventually impact on a universal scale. This comes from the stones rivaling each other, and stones like Reality having multi-galaxy to uni feats in lore. So high end, star plus, to multi-galaxy with the stone in possession as his peak. Now let's take a look at speed. Loki and Loki speed tier characters have resisted or blatantly escaped black holes. He also can combat beings that can handle those who can cross entire galaxies in a short amount of time. He also kept up with and even blitzed Captain America, who scales in speed, at least in combat, low-key, to basically everyone in the verse. Name someone Cap hasn't thrown hands with, it's crazy. But anyways, safe speed meta for MCU Loki, FTL to MFTL+. On the higher end, Doctor Strange fought in a realm outside of time, and Loki scales to Doctor Strange in reaction speed. Loki also scales to beings who moved around in the microverse, which is outside of physics itself. So on the higher speed tiers, you can argue inaccessible for MCU Loki. Now let's take a look at durability. Movie 1 or Avengers 1, Hulk's initial bashing into Loki only annoyed him. He also took a ragdolling from Enraged Hulk and was fine. He more so seemed shocked at the ragdolling than he was actually hurt. This same Hulk is compared to a walking nuke casually and BFR's Thor's with strikes. He also takes hits regularly from Thor and is just fine. Sure, he can die, but Thanos killing him is not an anti-feat by any means. Also, he took hits from Hela and was fine as well. So, safe durability for Loki, I'd say, is planetary to Planet Plus and scales a little bit above his own AP. Now, if you go to the high end and say he's relative to Thor, which is fine given they fought a bunch, Thor withstood the full force of a neutron star. You could also imply Loki may do the same, just not as long. Also, he has withstood hits from Mjolnir, which can break the Rainbow Bridge, and like I said, he was point blank when it broke. So higher end, Star Plus to Solar System level at least for durability. Now, let's take a look over at skill. Loki is one of the most dangerous hand-to-hand combatants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and can actually make a case for top 10 melee combatants, and if you're excited, you could push for a case for top 5, and I'm going to explain why. Few characters he's gone toe-to-toe with. One, he's gone toe-to-toe several times with Thor, one of the best warriors in all of MCU history. He's also fought well in close quarters against Valkyrie. Valkyrie is literally raised to be a supreme warrior for Odin and Asgard, okay? Valkyries are supposed to be godly in fighting, and Loki swapped hands with one. He also fought evenly, skill-wise, with Captain America up close in Avengers 1, and casually rocked him a few times. This shows he's also very creative as a striker up close. He's also insanely good at combining hacks, like illusions, teleporting, and invisibility, into hand-to-hand combat sequences. He's also good at mixing in summoning weapons like blades. He's incredibly accurate and quick on the draw, surprising Thor with a stab and casually one-shotting Frost Giants. He also blitzed Heimdall, who should have seen it coming. Not to mention, he is up there behind Hawkeye and maybe Cap as the most impressive marksman in the MCU with their signature weapons. So, low-end skill, top 10 in his own verse, high-end, top 5. Finally, hacks, abilities, and gear. Loki in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with complete gear like stuff he's had access to over the years, has some incredible moves, hacks, abilities that makes him incredibly dangerous. 1. The Mind Stone Scepter is able to block Mjolnir and protect powerful blasts and project powerful blasts as well. So not only can it take hits and blasts, it can return it as well, and the blast can potentially scale up to what the stone is capable of producing at full power. Also, this allows Loki to take people's minds over via tapping their heart. Loki has the Odin Spear, which can block Thor's strikes with Mjolnir and also damage Thor with strikes of his own. Loki can teleport, make himself invisible, and cast consistently phenomenal illusions in combat. He is also one of the smartest characters in the verse, which scares even gods. Loki is even knowledgeable and has performed acts that can even strip gods like Odin from their own power sources. Even Thanos thought Loki was a super valuable asset to use. His threat as a thinker and strategist cannot be underestimated. Loki also has his blades, which he can summon whenever he needs them. He doesn't seem to have a particular number of them, and he seemed to just summon them at will. Loki also has his, for time at least, the Casket of Winners, which can freeze planets and folded Heimdall. Tesseract Terrorist Loki was so scary, Tony Stark made Ultron and fumbled an Avengers threat level bag. Overall, Loki is a hacked, well-armed being. When given all weapons, is incredibly formidable. He is also slept on in skills and capabilities as a physical combatant, at least in my opinion. I hope the new show gives him more credence to how formidable he is as a character. Many fear the god of mischief, and rightfully so. Anyways guys, let me know what you thought of that. If you like MCU Loki, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the notification bell. I'm a big fan of MCU Loki as well as comics Loki, and if you want to see a battle involving this Loki versus someone else, comment down below what a good matchup is. Anyways, it's been your boy, YFV, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.